Good evening, everyone. I am Kirtana Kamath, MC of today's program. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this study circle meet on the topic Big Data, the Goldmine of Future. The speaker of today's session is Mr. Sujith Kumar UG and the chairperson is CA Andrea Lewis. I request CA Kavita M. Pai, chairperson of Udupi branch of SIRC of ICAI to welcome the gathering.
Good evening, everyone. After students' exams, we are here for the first study circle meeting. So I welcome you. Audible, no? Audible, Aru?
Yes, ma'am. You're audible.
Okay. I welcome our chairperson, C. Andrea Luis, for today's program. Thank you, ma'am. So as for the, and I welcome our today's speaker, Sujith K. He's a vice chairman of SICASA, organized everything, and okay, it's a good initiative to
Thank you.
have a new subject today regarding the technology. So I want to hear full session also because it's a new subject. So I welcome all the students and I welcome Narasimha Naik sir also. He has given me an opportunity to welcome you all people here today's program. So practice makes person perfect. So it's an study circle meeting is a program where every student gets an opportunity to develop their ability to convey their ideas, discuss about the topics and all. So I welcome you all. Thank you. So
thank you, ma'am. Okay. Before starting the session, I would like to give a brief introduction of chairperson of today's study circle, CA Andrea Lewis. CA Andrea Lewis is a practicing chartered accountant. She has expertise in the field of advisory and compliances of direct taxation, goods and service tax law. She is also a guest faculty for final year BCom students at Trisha College of Commerce and Management. She is also a faculty for CA Final, CA Inter, and Advanced Integrated course on Information Technology and Soft Skills at ICAI Udupi. We welcome you, ma'am. Now, the today's speaker is is Mr. Sujith Kumar UG. He is the vice chairman of Udupi branch of SICASA. He is pursuing his articleship in Devanand and Co. Udupi. He has completed his BCom and presently pursuing his MCom in Purnaprajna Evening College. Welcome you, Sujit. Over to you, Sujit.
Thank you, Kirtana, for such a warm welcome. So, today, greetings for the day, Andrea ma'am, Kavita ma'am, and Narsim Naik sir. So, to start about today's session, usually the topic may sound like it is something new for many of them, and I think like you, is the screen visible for you?
You have to present it. You are visible, but your PPT you may have to present it.
Yes. Now, is it visible, ma'am?
Yes,
Yes.
Sujit.
Okay, thank you. So to start about today's session, big data. This name sounds so like simple, big and data. But in today's world, like the everyday, and a simple thing like what I would like to carry on today's session is with first initially what is big data and how it works. And the second thing is like there are two different companies which I would like to discuss how they have applied the big data for to become one of the prosperous like entrepreneurs and the greatest business in this planet. Maybe one and another business is which I'm going to discuss is about which if it applies the big data to its core and it can use its potential of big resources it has in the big data, it can excel to become one of the greatest successful companies. So to talk about big data, it is common like what is let me break up this thing, big and data. First, let me discuss what is data. Each and every day you start generating data time by time. Maybe take for example your smartphone. As you have your smartphone now, every moment you start something generating a data. But what actually is that data? It matters a lot. Okay, now for for example, like you have, yes, what actually computer generates? I mean, what is the data that a mobile actually generates in you? The first thing is like the search. Maybe the common thing is search history. Every day you search something on the Google, and Google keeps a record of it every time. And affordability or something that is called the purchasing power. What you have got, like how well you purchase in the shopping sites. What is your affordability? Like to say the common thing, how much the common price rates you have got to purchase. You purchase cheap goods or luxury goods or such things, so there is a record over that. And location history, that is a common thing that every smartphone, like usually when you like open an app, they ask you access for the location, access for the media and devices, access for your data. So this location the history is also being created every moment. And analytics, like what is your favorite thing, what is your, like what is the thing you love to do, and what is the thing you don't like or dislike, you don't go to that. And shopping info and your personal information, there are so many big things that a smartphone generates per person. Maybe for as per an like research, 460 exabytes of data is generated per person per smartphone in this per month in a world. Imagine for one person 460 exabytes into 5 million 5 billion users, smartphone users, how big the data is. And you can utilize into the best form when it is given, like when it's taken in a good way. If it is like left out scrap or like non-used, the use of data or the potential of the power of data is very low. For example, like recently when I was having my exam, I got an email from Zomato asking, it was like uh, exam tension question mark, order a biryani in Zomato. The question is, how does Zomato know that I have an exam? My data, the privacy is already gone out. The internet is like open for everyone, there's no privacy or something. If Zomato knows that I have an exam or something to write down, and it knows my personal info, imagine about how much the Google knows about you. I get emails every month, your travel update, because whenever I travel, I update my photos in the Google Maps. So it tracks down my complete travel history and shows which city you have been. And my photos app too, like when you go to the photos app in the computer and search for your places where you have been, it shows in the map total places you have been, the time, the date, everything. Like there is no privacy, everybody knows about you. And people start, when WhatsApp brings out a policy of saying privacy policy, and people start claiming move to Telegram. WhatsApp is using your personal data, where internet is so open and people privacy data is very low. So, for example, now what I was discussing about was the data now. So, for example, per minute, how much data an internet introduces? There are 2.1 million snaps are shared per minute in internet. There are 3.8 billion of search in Google, in the Google. Then there are 1.1 million posts done in the Facebook. Then 4.5 million videos are being played in YouTube, and 118 million emails are being shared every minute. Imagine how big the data, the technologies in this world, when you can potentially use this to the best and make like some miracles or greatest things. So, what is this big data? Now, usually, theoretical speaking, there are four concepts what this big data is. Let me take an example of what ICA does. ICA has a big database of students now. First thing is the size of data generated. Like taking the example of ICI, how much data like ICI can generate usually, like what admission of students that happen every month, how many students pass out, how many CAs are there, and what are the like you start generating the UDINs. That is also big data for them. You can track down the applications like I mean certificates you issue. There's so much data that volume of data that ICA is getting, but they should look into that whether this they have enough capacity or they should need to go somewhere like add on additional capacity to utilize this data. Second thing is types of record. What types of record like student database or members database, files, Excel sheets, or some applications, they sort down this data. So what is the velocity of the data, types of records that ICA handles about its members, students, or the group. The third one is accuracy and trust. How accurate the data is, how trustworthy or how true the data is. And the fourth one is the variety. These are the four ways: structured, semi structured, unstructured. To describe this, structured data is like the Excel files what we get. All the data is sorted out. You can filter it whenever you want, whatever specifically you want the thing. Semi structured is like the books or registers what we write down, which will be like so much unorganized one. And this unstructured maybe the application forms which students send to the ICA. So what happens? Unstructured data, the application forms which ICA is students send to the ICA, they make it to semi-structured. They record down in the registers. This becomes semi-structured data. And the structured one they add on to the application or Excel sheet where they can easily filter down, sort down the data. So talking about ICI is like it is generating a huge thing. Let me talk about simple thing about OP branch, our SICASA. So the size of data being generated, um, size of data like how many students are getting in our admitted in our branch, and the type of records we have is the Excel sheets, email ID, phone number, intermediate, and accuracy. The data is accurate because branch when you give an application form, you're registered, you come under the branch. But how can I utilize this? For example, now I have the has being a vice chairman, we SICAs have the access to database list of students of Udupi branch, like your name, the like course you're doing, intermediate or final, the email ID, your phone number. Do you think I can misuse the data? Uh, Actually, yes. More than the misuse, I can utilize it to some great extent. Like what you know, there are some coaching institutions, labor but coaching. Let me start my own coaching institutions. So now I want a lot of students to join my like coaching institution. What can I do? I can use this email IDs to send our promotional mails to you. So what happens as soon as I send the promotional mail to you? Maybe there is 1,000 set of students. At least in the 10 students will look into that and join my course. So what happens without so much expenses? I have made a great promotion, and this data is like very important. You may think it is so silly, but it is quite structured and important. I can sort it out. CPT, CA Foundation students, yeah, send the CA Foundation course details only to CA Foundation students, intermediate students, then final students. The data is so clean, though so valuable that you can misuse that. There may be there are chances like coaching institutions or someone they may ask you the details of students. You can sell it for 1 rupee, and we actually don't do that. But 1 rupee per person detail, 1,000 details, 1,000 rupees. So it's not a big expense for a company when you have a list, sorted, structured list data of the students. So they may get 10 to 15 students per student. They'll take some 40 to 50,000. That is enough. Without lot of expenses, they can get into a great promotion. So, and the last and final most important thing is the value. Value. That is how best use you make out of this data, unstructured, structured, or how valuable. What is the results or outcomes that come out of the big data is really more important. To say, for I'll give an example. Is that take again an example of the gaming application. Now you have Call of Duty Ops. The gamers usually keep a track on how you play the game. They look into that as they release and beta version or the first version. They keep on the track of the applications you use. First, like when you usually pause the game, and which level you people usually quit or restart, or there are some levels that people feel bored. something. So they keep an usual track on all those things. So whenever people, there are like decreasing number of students, or I mean not students, users, they soon get like you change all those, like what is a minute, to explain briefly, what is a minute you pause, what is a minute people which is the level people usually quit, which is the level people usually restart. So they'll just track down, sort it down, make it structured, what is the, like sum it up, and the final result what they get, they'll think, okay, this part people like level number 3 people feel boring, they'll just change the storyline, and from that storyline they release the newer update. So this is how the basic small things that we do is called data, and when all the small data sum up to become one of big data which can be utilized to the best one. But not only this technology or something, it comes into the field of basics, health management, healthcare system. Now, healthcare system usually like a hospital. Take for example, now we have Manipal. Manipal usually generates a voluminous number of data of patients, outpatients, inpatients, and operations that has taken place, blood tests, blood donations that have taken place. So all this data are records which they maintain. For example, taking the four V's here: the volume, size of data that is being generated in the health sector. So types of records they have, they maintain the Excel, they maintain the logbook, they maintain some registers. Accuracy, what is the how accurate the person details are there. In the variety, semi-structured, structured, unstructured. Semi-structured may be the complete details of the patient in the Excel sheet. Semi-structured may be the logbook or some books you sign, and unstructured data may be the blood test reports, the X-ray reports, all these things. And what is the final result they can do when what do you call it, uh, for example, now they, like not only Manipal, some of the whole healthcare institution, I mean sector. Now, as soon as the corona vaccine was released, they started to collect the data of each person who they vaccinate at the initial stages. Now they vaccinate, they'll keep you for 2 hours, then they'll look into symptoms that you have got. So they write it down and they upload, they'll sum up all the data that of all the customers, all the people who have been vaccinated, and finally give the efficiency rate. Now you say Covaxin is efficiency rate of 67%, Covishield is 65%. But how could they generate? This is all because of the data. They sum up all the data, sort it out, you make the best use of it. And not only the healthcare sector, now we have the disaster management too. In the year 2012, in the eastern coast of USA, there was a Hurricane Sandy. So the American Institute of Weather and Forecasting Report, they kept a track of all the weather reports. Like from day one, it is raining, it is sunny, raining, sunny, it's windy. They sum up all the data, and they were able to predict the hurricane 5 days before. When the technology is a bit weak, but they use the big data, keeping a track record of the forecast, of weather forecast, the what you call like all the everyday weather, climate changes, everything. They were able to track the like predict the hurricane 5 days earlier, through which they had made some great, that during 2012 the technology was like quite behind, but using the big data they made a miracle. I mean, best utilization of this. So these are like theoretically what the big data is and how you can utilize. Now, to come to a practical oriented thing, I will apply this on two different companies, how they have utilized the big data. The first company is like they're tremendously successful, and they are one of the like well known and the biggest company on the planet now too. So that is the Amazon, how they have utilized the big data to its best potential now. Before I start, I want to explain you one of the case study that is very beautiful, and I really loved it, and you would also love this thing. The first thing is about a microwave oven, which you can see here. This is June Smart Oven 2.0. This is June Smart Oven 2.0 was introduced in the year 2013. I have a small ad of this.
June is not an oven, or toaster, or slow cooker, or any one of the many appliances that are crowding your countertop. June is all of them. It cooks, grills, air fries, dehydrates, bakes, roasts, and more. And it's not much bigger than your microwave.
June isn't just smart, it's genius. The minute you put in your food, it instantly recognizes what you're making and helps you make it better.
Because June is coded to think like a chef and cook like one too.
Say you want to make one of your favorites. You can control everything yourself or let June do the work. Just set your preferences, plug in the thermometer, and June seamlessly switches between a convection roast, skin crisping broil,
So now, as you have seen the video of this June microwave oven, this was actually introduced in the year 2013. Okay, 2013, maybe probably some 8 to 9 years where India was technologically behind. To say we didn't have actually the smartphones. We had it, but very basic one. The 3G technology was also very behind. And most probably the keypad phones were prominent in the hands of the people. During that time in the US, a company starts and smart woven, which has a screen, browsing technology over in that, and moreover, it was like quite elaborate. Just select the food you want to cook. When as soon as you insert the food, automatically it will shows you which food it is going to be cooking. It will set the temperature right. So many features, so much great things during that time, and the product was really successful. That was the June smart oven, and they soon started selling their products in Amazon. It was a big massive hit in US, and the sales was shooting up like anything. That time, Amazon's in the year 2018, Amazon itself invested from its Amazon Alexa Accelerator fund for the quite startup, the June Smart Oven. So the sales was really running really well. But what happened was in the year 2019, Amazon bought up something new that was called as Amazon Smart Oven. Within the same speech, it has it was has like June Amazon being the investor of June Smart Woven. In within 1 year, the next that is coming next year itself, it introduced its own June's Amazon Smart Oven, and within. But the most interesting fact over here is that the price range. June was usually selling at $499 to $600 $700, but Amazon introduced its smart oven at $250. Now, now I have a question for you guys. Okay, now I have a question for you guys. You can on your unmute yourself and speak also. The thing is like, how could Amazon bring at such a deep discount with all the similar features in the market, and there were not so many competitors, and June was the only competitor for them, and with so many features and so many expensive things, how could Amazon bring up with such a cheap price? Can anyone just guess out the thing or something? You have the chat box too, you can answer it. Because it is not such an easy thing for a company to make so much of losses when your when a manufacturing cost is also high. You can't give it a small margin too. Okay, I wouldn't like to say the answer. Okay, okay, didn't incur any R&D. Okay, this guy knows the answer actually. Gokul actually knows the whole story, so he was able to say that. But maybe you talk about the fact now marketing strategy, when mobiles and so many things are so cheap in online, and the same strategy which Amazon could have used, giving a deep discount. But you should remember a small thing in this. What is that like? uh, when a company gives an discount, deep discounts, it is usually good or like good decision when it comes to a perishable product. Like for example, now the price of the milk in the market is 40 rupees. So when you start your own company where you start selling the milk at 38 rupees, you'll have a huge drive of customers coming to you because they may think saving 4 rupees is so good. Within some saving 4 rupees, you can may buy an extra liter within what the money you spend for that, within like some 4 rupees with one, then you can buy at least 2 to 3 liters extra. So you can drive the huge customer base towards you. And the market price of the milk is 636 rupees, like purchasing price. You can sell it at a very thin margin of 2 rupees. Gradually you make it into 39, people will be still purchasing from you. 40 people will be still purchasing from you because they still can save 2 rupees compared to the market price. But that does not happen with this like durable products. For example, now take um, bike or this microwave oven too. You should give deep discounts of 5 to 6,000. This is like half the rate. When the oven is selling at $500, Zoom is selling at $500, and Amazon is able to bring it at $250, half the price. It should be a very huge margin of discount. And if they give that, either the product quality should be very low, or the company should incur losses. When Amazon is not able to incur the losses too, and not not compromising with the quality too. How was Amazon able to give so much valuable good? And the market suddenly shifted from June to Amazon, and June started to incur a lot of losses, and maybe now June is removed out of Amazon. They are not selling anymore. So how could they do that? And even if Amazon gives so much deep discount in that, maybe what we call customer purchase. Today I purchase an oven of Amazon and I get a deep discount with a low quality. Within an average life of oven is 3 to 4 years and it gets spoiled within 2 years. I'll guarantee not go back for that oven. I mean Amazon oven. I'll choose for the other one which gives a better work or quality, because if I spend 250 more, I'll get a better one. But when Amazon is giving the same good quality, how could it give that? So the strategy behind this is called as uh, the strategy behind this is called the big data. How well Amazon uses its big data to bring out the potential and most valuable resources. And you can see every year Amazon brings out its own product, Amazon Basics, that we have in Amazon Basics. All those mobile covers, small earphones, then tripod stands, camera covers, books, files, all those things you have in Amazon. Even started releasing electronic goods. How could Amazon not do that? Because there are first factor, what is the strategy that they usually do, that they find the best selling product in the market. Now usually you have a mobile phone is like the market is at the very mature one. There may be age when to decline, so they are not actually entering that. Take for the example in the same thing, June, they start to analyze the best selling product in the market. Or for example, June, you have as soon as you become a registered seller in Amazon, you need to submit the details to Amazon. Actually, all the product specifications, how it works. And Amazon says they'll make a video, and all those promotional photos and everything. They'll be adding that. So this is a good thing. Is like they find the best selling product in the market. The second thing they do is that they read through the reviews. First thing is find the best selling product, and second thing is like reading through the reviews. Now you have the reviews of the June or sample June woven too. There are some people may like it, some people may say this working is good, I like this feature. They'll write it, like they'll sort it down. May people want what, like they want preheating feature, they want grill feature, they want this feature, they want smart. They'll sort it down, then they'll sort it to another level. What people do not want, what is that, this feature they do not like, so they'll sort it down. They will review it, and they can sort, like make it short. The third and the final step they do is they set up a manufacturing unit and start protecting production of their own with the best uh, features that they can add upon. So this is a primary strategy that Amazon uses. No R&D, as Google has said, no R&D expenses, no trial and error. like as soon as you release the market, you need not keep on track how it works. I mean, basic thing, what the customer likes, what the customer was, because you know the market is already settled for them. Amazon knows that. Amazon knows it has a huge database of customers. So Amazon knows that, and it utilizes it to the best. Another example, like uh, what is the best thing of setting over the mistakes of the other. You have the Spotify is actually working really good. The 19 late back in 1980s, 1990s, there was a age where you used to buy CDs, cassettes for the music. Then came the Napster.com, that Napster, so where you were able to download the torrent music from the website, internet. When people started getting used to it, like free, why you need to pay some dollars or some rupees for the cassettes when you're getting the free music in the internet. But as soon as there were a lot of legal suits and cases filed on Napster closed down. Then Spotify took this advantage. They made licensable product, like licensed music, and free of cost to the customers, and give a huge customer base to Spotify. It is like building over the mistakes of the other. The company really stands successful. The first mistake, what music CDs were expensive, so Napster bought out with a free version or a lesser price, so people started using Napsters. So the mistake of Napster was the music albums were not licensed. Spotify bought out with a licensable and a free version. Spotify is successful. So these are, when there are some sectors which start the basic, some sectors which build over the mistakes of the other one. So this is what Amazon is presently doing. The most important thing what the Amazon has got is Amazon has got really important three superpowers. The first thing is like huge customer database. Amazon actually knows what you buy. You get preferences as you start searching for a laptop, as you start searching for a mobile. All the ads, Google's, everything is filled with lot of laptops, different features. It has huge customer data, which is important. It knows what is your affordability. As soon as you set a filter, less than 500, less than 5,000, yeah, you come in the middle range. When you're not looking into the price, when you select the filters of brand, yes, I want fast track, I want this, I want that, yeah, they come in, you are sorted, you are put in list where each Amazon knows what you want, how you want, and it shows the preferences, and you would love to take the things from Amazon. The second thing is data of the seller. Every seller, when he wants to sell something in the Amazon, he needs to submit the complete specification, working everything to Amazon. It knows how each and everything product works, and they can utilize it to the best. Second thing is digital real estate. Now there are few very products, Amazon's, which Amazon Basics or Amazon products, you'll always find it in the best sellers, Amazon Choice, or the Amazon products, because it has that power. And you being a customer, the first thing you choose is Amazon Preference or the best sellers. And Amazon can do that. It can place all its product the best seller. So this unique power of Amazon and the big data that is it has got makes it to be one of the most successful and incredible powerful company in this planet. So, do you think still data is a small, unimportant or something? Because it is an gold mine for the future. In this era of artificial intelligence, machine learning, everything, data is really important. And Amazon is able to make all this. Yes. So, on one part, now we have discussed with a company which is extremely successful. They have made $1 billion, and it is first $70 company, that is, which has made more than $100 billion, $102 billion. That was Jeffy Bezos. And there is another company which has a great potential to be used. I mean, the future coming, which has that potential, which has that, but they have not yet completely used it. And that is, before I say that, I have a question for you guys. The thing is like, uh, which is that company? You can guess it. Recently, it went IPO. One of the biggest IPO it had gone last week. You can put in the chat box, which is a company which released its IPO some last week. Yes, yes, Zomato, Zomato. Yes, the company that I'm going to discuss now is Zomato. Okay, but Zomato, as you know, this common thing now here. You order a food during COVID times. The thing was like everybody Zomato, Swiggy, online ordering food, packaging. It was delivering into your house. But what is the good thing is like Zomato's revenue has shooted up from the last financial 3 financial years, and the last financial year 2020 it is like some 300 billion, 368 billion dollars, billion 368 billion. So when the revenue of Zomato is so high, so successful, people love to invest in that. But you should look into that. Like it has enormous losses too. It is making about some 200 million losses from in the year 2018 it was 15 million and it's going to 200 million 300 million when the company which is having a revenue and so much losses they have. Do you think it is good for investing in that company where like in Zomato? Actually I would say yes. Because Zomato, to recover from its losses, it started to adopt different strategy. First strategy was the Zomato Gold, which was locking up the customers from going to Swiggy. You get deep discounts, too deep, like 50 to 60% discounts, and sometimes one plus one free. But lot of restaurants first started facing losses, so they started withdrawing, and Zomato Gold was a flop, and it just moved out. Then they started raising the prices. As soon as Amazon adopts such strategies, it is failing, and Zomato is coming down. The losses are growing up like anything. And still, do you think it's good in investing in Zomato? I would say yes. It is a food tech company and it has huge database of customers, and it can potentially use it to make one of the unique and the growing up tech that is called the cloud kitchens. There are two companies like major. There are a lot of companies now getting successful over cloud kitchens. So one of that is the Rebel Foods, Fazos and Barrows biryanis. So when Barrows biryanis, Fazos are making about 16 to 17 crore of business every month, cloud kitchen is successful. But what the actually concept of cloud kitchen? I have a small video for you.
Options for food delivery booming. This Dubai-based startup is taking advantage of all of that demand, is now looking to raise more cash and seriously scale up. Mobalut founded Katopi in January 2018 with one mission: to satisfy the world's appetite. So how do you do that? Turns out it's not just about food. It's about data, speed, and accuracy.
When we first started, I never thought that the number one problem in food is actually that you as a customer would have something missing in your order. So it's really looking at how do you solve the issues of quality, issues of speed, issues of availability for the delivery world, which is very different to solving it when it comes down to a brick.
So as you have seen this video, it shows, and this is a video of Kitopi Cloud Kitchen Dubai. It was one of the most successful cloud kitchens. And what the simple thing about the cloud kitchen is, it is just a kitchen where you order something, they'll pack the food, they make the food ready, pack it, and send it to you. There is no dining facility over there. The cost of setting that this also
Options for
very
food
good. Okay, Zomato is coming up with Zomato kitchens, and for example, like, this is on a general a cost of a cloud kitchen. How much it takes for a cloud kitchen to be set up? Maybe the rent, usual rent for an restaurant would be 5 to 6 lakh. When the rent for a 2,000 square feet of cloud kitchen would be 50,000 to 1 lakh rupees. The rent deposit when you keep like for the normal 50 seater restaurant maybe 20 lakhs, and the rent deposit for cloud kitchen is 1 lakh, and license 8 to 10 lakh, which is same for both. Equipments also cost the same, and working capital is almost cut down by the half because you don't need any servers to serve the food, and the billing counter can be automated too. So when uh, Zomato uses this potential to set up its own cloud kitchens, because you may think it is not, it may be very tough for that because Zomato has got the customer data. It has the complete details what people love, people love, what like they love fish fries, fish masala, fish thing, and you know what is the peak season they order, Sundays, Saturdays, what time, afternoon, morning, everything they know. They can set up the like cooking thing or the plan the cloud kitchen in such a way that they don't need an indine facility, so that you can set up a cloud kitchen with so much low cost, and the profit can be up to, which is now about 10 to 16% profit of a restaurant. A normal general category, you can take it about 44 to 50%, because Zomato does not incur any commission which it charges for the restaurant. So that, and even for raw materials, all those like what you call this cooking materials, vegetables, it has got Zomato Hyper Pure too. So utilizing all this, they can make the best use of that. That is the Zomato kitchens. And the customer data, it also knows its affordability. What is the people ready to pay for that? Like for example, a shawarma. There are 5 6 restaurants. They charge 60. Like Arabian Nights charge 60, 120. Then Lazat charge 60 70. So they know what is ideal price. What is ideal price they should charge for an shawarma, and they can charge what is the preference, a chicken shawarma or which were like other different flavors. What is people add on more mayonnaise, less mayonnaise? All those basic small details you may feel it small, but for a company with so many of customers, it can utilize and make the best use of it. And the future of this food tech companies like Swiggy, Access, it has got, so they can utilize it to the best like best um like for the greatest potential ever. But there's one thing, like in India, where the population is so huge, there are so many restaurants already. And Zomato starts its own cloud kitchens, there will be lawsuits, there will be cases for all of. And Zomato kitchens and Swiggy Swiggy Access, sorry, they have come up with a very nice and like ethical way. What is that? Like they start a Zomato kitchen with different customer base. Like for example, there is 2000 square feet of Zomato kitchen, cloud kitchen. In that, they'll divide it into 8 to 9 pieces, parts. First one is for MTR, next one is for like swathers, third one is for some other foods. So they can divide it into different parts where all these restaurants can get to set up their food. Like they don't really make any losses. They can earn the money revenue from that. So it is a quite ethical way where Zomato only sets up the customer cloud kitchen for all the businesses, so they can break it up. And ethically can do this because they have got a really huge customer base data, and they can potentially use that. So maybe for example, now as I said, Sundays afternoons, fish fry, fish meals, all this runs well. So all these basic small details can be potentially used to the best. From this, I would like to conclude that how good the big data it can be to the best use. When one company example which I discussed about was the Amazon, which it potentially like exploited it to the core and made the best use, and Zomato, which has the potential to make the best use of this. So this is how I would like to conclude. Thank you, everyone. Andrea, ma'am, you can speak over this session.
Okay, okay. Very good evening to one and all. So the number is very less who have attended at least online. I think students would have at least made a chance or else made themselves free to attend this session. Yes, so I think after a long time, SICASA is coming with such interesting topic like big data. Otherwise, most of the times, when I see the topics, it's all about the amendments or GST in relation to direct taxes, indirect taxes, or company-related amendments, and all those things. So once in a while, it is very good to have these kind of topics. Yes, so Sujith has almost done justice to the topic. So I was listening from the beginning till the end, and most of you here, I know that big data is something new topic which you must be listening, or you might have got to know, or you might have an insight today. But this concept is there since long back itself, so long back. So the topic that is a good big data, or that's a gold mine for the future. Okay, so this is being discussed since 2 3 years ago itself. Okay, it's being discussed 2 3 years ago itself, but putting into the action is done only by few of these companies, and as Sujit has rightly pointed, one is Amazon, and other one he told about the Zomato also. How do these companies collect the data? Okay, you might be still wondering. So this also Sujit has brought it out in his presentation. So if you have not listened, so the every app that you download, it asks your contact access to the contacts, access to the location. So what we usually do is blindly we say yes, 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 because we want the app to get installed. So if it is not, if permission is not given, the app doesn't get installed. But indirectly, this data is being collected somewhere in the database. And this data, when we say it's not the data which we saw see in the rows and columns, that is in the Excel, it is in terabytes. So if you can imagine how much data is being uploaded in Google, I think it goes about 500 plus terabytes per day. So much data gets uploaded, or for that matter, even in the Facebook. Okay, imagine what is the data that these companies are holding. And if you can recall, few years ago, I cannot exactly recall what was the name. There was, I think, something called Analytica or something, wherein there was a controversy that which was told that Facebook had breached the privacy. That is, it had given out the data to so and so things, but later it got closed down. That Mark Zuckerberg he refused, and it got closed down. So this was all about releasing the data, that is the private information or the most privacy information of a person to the others. So even it plays a very important role in the elections that are held in the nation. That's what we hear every now and then. To how much extent it is true is not known to whole of the world, but somewhere or the somewhere inside there is obviously a what is understanding between these companies wherein they are going to share the data. So they do it in a such a way that it's not going to breach the privacy policy. Okay, or even if it is breaches, the common person like us wouldn't like to know about it. And one more point I would like to tell. So the news that is being going on. So Zomato, the valuation of the Zomato, why it is so much in spite of Zomato incurring huge losses. So if you have seen the financials of Zomato, it is actually incurring the huge losses. But when it got quoted, or when it went for initial public offer, can someone tell me what was the price? IPO, what was the price range it offered? 72 to 79, yes. And what was yesterday's price?
124.
Yes, it was around 124. It was around 124, correct. Look, the reason Zomato has gone, or the value or the share price of the Zomato has gone to that extent, is because of the brand it is having. Okay, and plus everyone is under the impression, that Zomato is going to do very well. But there are comments that are coming in wherein it says that Zomato is making huge lot of losses, and there is a possibility that the share price might totally come down to whatever. I think it might. So they say, some people might say even it might come down to 2 rupees. Okay, but I had the chance of looking at the valuation done by this professor from New York University, at Stern Business School. Okay, Stern Business School. So his name is Ashwath Damodaran. He is a very well known person in the field of valuation. He has written a lot many books also. So according to his valuation, which he had shared, the Zomato value is rupees 40 per share. Okay, the Zomato share value is rupees 40 per share. So that means, I think it's almost 200 or 300 times the share is being overvalued. So according to him, 200 or 300 times the share is being overvalued. So there is no what do you say? So they all these valuation experts are expecting that very soon the Zomato might come down to 40, and that is when all the public who has subscribed to this Zomato at the rate of 79, 80, they are going to incur huge losses. But the promoters and the venture capitalists who have invested in that, they are going to take away with a lot of cash with them. Okay, so this is all about Zomato. And the other side I would like to tell is, though the Zomato is making such huge losses, why it is being valued so much? So this losses and all, you see, it is all from the financials that is coming out. But what about the intangible? Intangible is nothing but the customer data the Zomato is having. So if you have seen your Zomato account, what are the details you can find about yourself in the Zomato account?
The frequent locations you order the food, the
Okay,
veg or
so I
non-veg.
think I think your house location will already be there, correct?
Yes, yes.
And then, so the different places wherever you go, when you order there, you are supposed to put the location and the delivery location also. And also, it has your last order details also, correct? And also, you can track your earlier details also. So, if a person wants to know about the food habits, okay, of a particular region, what that person can do is, like, that person can just dig into this big data that is there of the Zomato, and can analyze, okay, and can analyze what is the trend, or what is the preference of a customer, whether the person is whether the people of that particular locality, are they going for non-veg, or are they going for veg, or are they specifically preferring to some particular restaurant. So imagine if this data of Zomato is taken over by some other company, and it can do the analysis, and it can bring about its marketing strategy. Then imagine the business that the company which has purchased can do it. Okay, so the customer data that is there with the Zomato, okay, the customer data that is there with the Zomato, that is the one that has got lot and lot of value. And I think if a person really wants to buy that customer data from Zomato, I think you can just imagine what could be the value of that. So just like Sujit told, if ICI sells one person's for 1 rupee, then 1,000 records means 1,000 rupees. So obviously, when this valuations will be done, so they are not going to sell for one customer's data for 1 rupee. Obviously, it will be a lot more. So this is what I would like to give in my remarks. So anyways, good job by Sujit. I hope the upcoming SICASA office bearer also will come up with lot many interesting topics, which the students will have to know in this current scenario. And one thing I would like to tell you, so if I ask you which is a favorite subject in CA finals or something, considering that ISCA subject is there, I think no one will say that ISCA is a favorite subject. But if you are a person who is very interested in all this technology and all, I'm sure ISCA will be your favorite subject. Yes, so I'd like to end my remarks. So thank you, Sujit, for first he requested me whether you'll be available or not. So then I told, okay, fine. So one thing I considered was, I think this will be the last study circle meet during his tenure as a vice chairman of SICASA.
No, ma'am.
Is it?
No, ma'am. There are still 2 more months left, ma'am.
Okay, 2 more months left. Okay, but as a vice chairman, I think this would be your last study circle meet presentation.
No, no, I
Okay.
have one more.
Okay, you have one more. Then all the best. Okay. So, but then, so seeing the topic, okay, then I told, yes, let me do it, and let me see what the students are thinking about this also. Yes, I would like to end my 2, 3 sentences of this.
Ketanam Kamatal has left this session. Okay, I would like
So you
to.
only have to give the concluding remarks.
Yes. Okay. I would like to thank each and everyone who have attended this session, and especially today's chairperson of the session is Andrea Lewis, for taking her time and giving the feedback over the session. and CA Kavita Pai ma'am for being a chairperson. Even in her very busy schedule, she was there for the whole session. And even we have CA Narasimhan sir, the SICASA chairman, even in the session. So I'd like to thank each and everyone for attending this session, and thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we can leave the meeting now. Thank you.